which seems kind of silly because I already have so much yarn. Then you'll see a little sneak peek here. So getting them out of the box is a pain. Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, my name is Sabrina and I am the owner of Stuffies. I design and make chunky finger knit stuffies and blankets, pillows. I also make DIY kits and video tutorials for my patterns. Today I wanted to take you along with me as we make a little update to my office. So as you see here, we have this giant shelf. Let me flip you around so I can show you a little bit better. So I have this giant shelf from IKEA. It's 5 shelves by 5 shelves down. And as you can see, I use this to store most of my yarn. And then I also have a number of bins here which store my measuring yarn for my DIY kits. I have my poly mailer bags down here for shipping. I have like tape and some other office supplies and storage stuff down there. I have 2 very full bins of scrap yarn. I've also recently filled this tote bag up with a bunch of scrap yarn as well. So I really need to start making some stress ball buddies soon so that way I can get rid of some of this scrap yarn. And then here in these shelves are again supplies for my DIY kits. And then of course up here I just have more yarn up in the bags. So I have this large storage for my yarn, and then coming over I have just this little storage here, which I also love because it has the doors on it. And then over here I just have 3 bins here. So I have some extra yarn from my blanket DIY kits. So in a little bit I'll talk about why I need some extra yarn storage, which seems kind of silly because I already have so much yarn. So in a little bit I'll take you downstairs to see what the downstairs looks like because it is full of boxes completely. You'll see why I need the extra storage in this room for the yarn. So anyway, back to over here. I have that extra yarn that is left over from my blanket kits. I did just get my order in for the new restock of my blanket kits, which is why my downstairs looks absolutely crazy and full of boxes. There's just no room in this office space to put the yarn for the blanket kits. So over here you'll see that I have some more IKEA boxes. We actually got another one of these shelves. I believe they're called the Calyx shelves. I'll link them in the description of the video so you guys can see them if you're interested in them. But so we got the same thing, but it's a little bit smaller. Instead of it being 5 shelves long and 5 shelves down, it's going to be 4 and 4. So it's a little bit smaller. It's not going to hold all of the yarn that I have, but it will be going in this space over here. And it should fit perfectly just over here in this space. And then with this shelf, we're going to bring it over here. I'm going to collapse one of these bins. Probably move the garbage can out of the way, and I think that it should fit okay in this space. So there's definitely a lot of different storage pieces that I have throughout this little office. I hope to one day have a bigger office, and we're hoping to move at some point this year. So hopefully that dream will come true in the near future. But for now, we're trying to make it work in this office. This is also our guest bedroom, so we also have this big bed kind of in the middle of the room, which actually ends up working well because I'm able to work on this bed. If you've seen my videos, you know. And don't worry, we don't have guests very often, so the sheets are always thoroughly cleaned. Every once in a while, I'll get a comment in my videos about the yarn being on the bed, but I promise you these sheets are kept very clean. So also you may have seen a little sneak peek. So I don't know when this video will be coming out, and I don't know when the bunnies will be coming out either. I kind of did a sneak peek already on my Instagram, but I haven't showed them fully. So if this video comes out before I officially show and launch these bunnies, then you'll see a little sneak peek here. It's going to be a 4-in-1 pattern, but they are super cute and I am really excited about this pattern and I think you guys are going to love it too. So now that I've kind of explained the storage situation in my office and what I'm hoping to accomplish with this new setup, let me go downstairs and show you the amount of boxes that we have downstairs and why we just need that extra shelf in this room. Okay, so starting right at the front door, we have 3 giant boxes on our little bench right here. So those are all full of yarn. Okay, so we just have a little box of yarn here, another giant box here, which these 2 boxes are just my regular yarn shipment. These 2 are going to fit perfectly fine on the shelf that I already have. And then over here I have the rest of the yarn plus another box of Michael's yarn and some polyfill back there. that box up there is just empty. But over here, we've got the bulk of the yarn that's going to be going into the new shelf. And then also over here, we do just have my multicolored yarn in this box, which this box is actually always down here, which we usually just keep it in the corner of this shelf, which we haven't put it there recently, but it does need to go back there. So I don't think all of this yarn plus this yarn over here, so I don't think all of this new yarn that I have is going to fit completely in the new shelves that we're going to build, but I do think it's going to be a good starting point. And then we do have all of that space on top of the new shelf that we can use. We can stack the bags of the yarn kind of just like I have on the other shelf. But I think that But I think for now, at least while I'm limited on space in my office, I think that it's going to be an okay solution, and we'll see how it all looks once we get it built. I think tonight my husband and I are going to work on putting that shelf together. Although let's be honest, I think my husband is going to do most of the building, but I am going to take you along through the building process and then getting it all set up with all the yarn as well. So I'll check back in with you once we get started on building the shelves. Okay, so it is now later and we just got the kids to bed, so we are working on setting up the shelf. My husband, Matthew over there, got the package opened up and he's already getting started on building it, so that's super exciting. And then let me show you what we've already moved. Okay, so we moved this bin over here and it fit really nicely. These bins come out a little bit further, which is nice that they don't block the outlet anymore, having this bin here. And then we just ended up collapsing one, and that bin right at the very end just barely fit, so we could still close the door. And then we just have this bin here that I am going to collapse and put away. So I'm going to work a little bit on organizing some of this yarn that needs to go up here in this shelf. So I'll check in with you in just a little bit once we get a little bit further, or Matthew gets a little bit further on this shelf. Okay, so I just finished filling up this shelf here with all of the yarn that goes in this one. So all the boxes that I showed you downstairs earlier from Hobby Lobby and Michael's. And oh, I also put some in here as well. So that's all set up, and this is how Matthew is moving along on the shelf. So it's almost done. Okay, so while he's finishing that up, I'm going to see if I can build these little shelves that I also got for the big shelves, which I'll show you. So I got two of these little insert things that go right into the shelf that have little shelves that are great for paper and stuff. Kind of like this. This one I got, I think, at like TJ Maxx or Marshall's, and it fit perfectly inside of this little cube. So I have all of these papers and stuff that I showed you earlier for like my DIY kits. So I got two more of these. I'm not sure exactly if we'll have room for these with the amount of yarn that I have. So I think I'll use those two shelves for here and for this one as well that doesn't have a shelf in it. So we'll see how that goes. Okay, so I got this one built. It was actually pretty simple, and now I am going to try to put it down here in this one. I got all this stuff on the floor here. Matthew is so close to being done with that, and then we're probably going to put it up against the wall and see how it looks. Everything fit really nicely in here, and now I just need to find something to do with these. I might put them away in storage for right now, but it definitely looks a lot cleaner and nicer, and it actually gives me one extra space down here, which I think I have an idea of what I'm going to use the next one for, so I'll build that one and show you what I might use the other one for, as long as it fits. I'm not sure if they'll fit or not, but we'll see. Okay, so this shelf is now up, and I'm so excited to put some yarn in there, which Matthew is bringing up all of the boxes now for me. So I won't be filling up the shelves tonight, but I will tomorrow. I'm gonna finish doing this last shelf here here's how it's looking so far, and then I'll show you how the last one looks too once I get that set up. And then tomorrow I'll bring you along as well as I fill up the shelves of the new shelf. Okay, so I just got the last one in, and my idea for this one was to put my little DIY kit bags in here, which works okay. So the good thing is I usually will only be taking them out and not putting them back in, so they're much easier to take out. So I got the mini whale ones in, and now I'm gonna put the other ones in as well. So next are the mini bee bags. All the octopus bags. And the last one is the mushroom bags. Alright, and here is how everything looks. I feel like everything just looks so much more put together, and I feel just a little bit more organized with having these three like this. And then the only thing is I just need to find a spot for the octopus stickers for the DIY kit, which I think I'll just put down here in this one. And it's not too far away from where the rest of the DIY kit stuff is, so I feel pretty good about that. I already put the hen DIY kit sticker in here, so I think it makes sense to just put those in there as well. So here's how everything is looking. The original shelf, looking so much better and so much more organized. And then over here in this corner is honestly a little bit messy. It's kind of like a chaotic, organized mess, but as long as I know where everything is, I think I'm good with this. And then over here we have the new shelf, my tripod. So all the boxes of yarn are up here. Thank you, Matthew, for bringing that up here. And then tomorrow I will work on filling up the shelf. So I think I'll probably do a reel, kind of like a time lapse of me filling up this shelf. I think it's going to take quite a while to get all of these out. I think there's a total of 540 pieces of yarn or skeins of yarn in here, so it's quite a lot. I have a feeling we're going to use quite a bit of this top space up here, but I'm hoping that this will fill up nicely. I'm really happy with how everything has turned out so far, and I'm excited to get those shelves filled up with yarn tomorrow. So I'll check back in with you then. So it's now the next day, and I'm going to get started on filling up the shelves with yarn. I'm not sure how long it's going to take me, but we'll see. I'm going to plan on doing a reel of me putting all the yarn in there, so I'm going to do a time lapse. So I'll make sure to insert that reel in here as well so you guys can see. But I'm going to go ahead and get started. So I got one box emptied. You can see I started right down there, and then I put some up there. It's definitely not going as I had planned. Here's the empty box over here. So the way that these boxes are is everything is vacuum sealed, and then there's a bunch of tape around everything to keep everything together, I guess, during shipping. So getting them out of the box is a pain, and then the second I start moving them around, the vacuum seal kind of just automatically breaks. So up here on the shelf, it does not look very good, and all the bags are just opening up. Like, you can see that this one already opened up before I even started touching it. So I'm not quite sure what the plan is going to be, and of course not that much yarn fits in each cube. I still like it because it's still going to look nice for like creating content and just like aesthetically pleasing, but as far as functionality, it's not going to work as well as I was hoping for, as far as just being able to store yarn. So I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to try to keep going and at least just fill all of the cubes up, but then figure out something with the rest of the yarn. I may just put the yarn right back in the boxes, but I will at least have emptied hopefully at least 3 of these boxes. I don't know. We'll see. I'll keep you updated as I go along. Okay, so here is where I'm at. Not much further, but I did realize that I could put an extra 6 in here, so a total of 18 skeins instead of 12 skeins per cube, which is good. So I have 540 pieces total. I did a little bit of math, so just over half of the yarn that I have will be able to fit in all these cubes. So I'm feeling a little bit better about that now, so I won't have as much yarn left over in the boxes as I was thinking, but we'll see at the end. So I have 18 skeins in each of the white ones, and now I need to add 6 more skeins in each of the bottom ones down there, and then I'm just gonna keep going. So the wall is finished. I love how it turned out, except for the double pink right there. I tried to mix match the colors as much as possible, but I think that it turned out pretty good. I don't love how the bags up there look, but I think we're just gonna go with it anyway. So it definitely took a lot more work than I thought it would be, especially because they're all vacuum sealed and because of the tape. But I'm so glad that it is at least done now and pretty well organized, because the last time we did the blanket DIY kits, we just had the boxes kind of just lined up behind the door. So it wasn't well organized. We were just grabbing yarn out of the boxes, which actually wasn't too bad. It's definitely a lot of work up front to get all the yarn out of the boxes and into the cubes, but I think we'll be thankful once we are starting to pack DIY kits and the yarn is just readily accessible, and it'll just make packing go a little bit quicker. So I'm gonna stop for now, and then hopefully tonight my husband will be able to help me finish up the rest of these boxes and get the boxes broken down. I broke down a few of them and those are out in the hallway. But yeah, I have some DIY kits to pack tonight, so I'm definitely gonna have to clean up the rest of this before I start those. But for now, I'm gonna call it good. Okay, so it is now later and we got the office all cleaned up. Thank you to my husband for helping me, but I will spin this around and I'll give you a tour of kind of what the office is looking like. Okay, so this is just the original shelf that I showed you yesterday when I finished everything over here. And then this corner over here, I still need to figure out what I'm going to use these little shelves for. I think I might put them up here, but I need to clean it off. I still don't know what I'm going to put in there, but we'll see. And then if you come over here, here is the new shelf with all of the yarn in it. I ended up putting just 2 more bags up here on the shelf, and then hopefully as I start using up this yarn, I won't have those bags up there. And then coming over here, here is just my like storage closet. We just stacked the remainder of this yarn right here in this bin. I just realized that we had one empty little box in here, which actually held my DIY kit bags, which we had put over there. So I grabbed the empty box out of here, and then I realized we could just use this to store the rest of it so we don't have any more cardboard boxes. And I just moved the gray box over here against the bed where it was before. But yeah, so that's how everything turned out. There is definitely a ton of yarn in this room and lots of yarn storage, but at least it is organized and there is quite a bit of floor space here. So for the blanket DIY kits, I'm still waiting on a few things to come in before I officially restock them. So I'm waiting for the tote bags, and then there's one other fun thing that I'm also going to be putting in the blanket DIY kits. So I have 2 more large orders coming in, and it should be interesting to find a spot for those 2 things, especially the tote bags. I'm ordering double the amount that I did last time. So it's probably going to be like 4 big boxes, and I just have no idea where we are going to be putting that, especially in this room. But for now, everything is organized and I feel good. So that is pretty much the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the reorganization process of my yarn and adding a new shelf to my office. Let me know down in the comments what you think, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.